Hello, my name is Martin Kennedy. I'm going to be the facilitator for the Training for Transformation program.
And I'm Katrina Kennedy. I'll be the moderator for the TFT program.
Good. So over the next 5 minutes or so, we just give a brief summary of what will be happening throughout the program. So Katrina, you might bring us on to the first image there. Okay, so these two phrases capture something at the heart of TFT, that it's a program for people who are interested in working cooperatively to get things done. And it draws on resources developed by experts in adult education, in personal development, business management, community development, philosophy, and work for justice. And what they all have in common is a belief in the dignity and the capacity of each person. And this ethic of respect points to cooperation as a more effective and sustainable way of getting things done than domination. And the catchphrase is simple enough. None of us is as smart as all of us. Okay, so that's that first image, Katrina. Thanks. We'll go on to the next one. So there are three broad areas covered in the program. The first is around interpersonal and group skills. And these may be of use to any participant within your own family, among your friends, in your community or workplace, or in any wider society involvements you may have. And these skills include the four listed here, like hospitality, which is about welcoming people, putting them at ease, listening to them. It then explores facilitation, which is about getting the task of the group done while maintaining a good spirit in the group. And the third area that we'll be doing is managing conflict. The conflict is normal, it's inevitable in any group. And the focus will be on how to manage conflict as effectively as possible. And that in some situations we'll be working in, people want to work cooperatively, want to work respectfully. And so we look at how do you manage conflict in that scenario. But in the real world, we'll also be working with people who are not interested in cooperation, who don't have respect for others. And we'll be looking at how do you manage conflict with those folk. And then the fourth area is around planning and reviewing. These would be simple, practical approaches to strategic and operational planning and review. And they followed the principle, nothing about us without us. Okay, so that's the first main section in the Training for Transformation, the interpersonal and group skills. Okay, Katrina, we'll go on to the second one. And what this is about, this guy, Paulo Freire, worked in Latin America back in the 60s and 70s and so on. And he developed a very practical method of applying the above principles and beliefs that we touched on. He was involved in adult education and community development. And his core conviction was about helping people to help themselves, not helping people as a way of doing things for people. And in order to help people to help themselves, there were three things he focused on. One was creating a listening environment in the community. And out of that listening environment, identifying issues that are important to the community. And then the third is helping the community to plan for action on the issues that are important to them. So we'll be looking and we'll be practicing Paulo Freire's method, just as an example of this approach in practice. And then the third section of the program, and again, we'll move on here, Katrina. This will be a chance to explore our own attitudes and perspectives on a couple of really important questions. One is like, how do we see society? Some of us see the inequality in society as down to the misfortune of folk. Others see it as down to the lack of capacity in folk. And others, again, sees that there are structures, at national and global level, both social and psychological, that trap whole communities in disadvantage. So depending on what perspective you have, you'll have a different way of responding to the issues. So we'll be exploring that. And then a second issue that we'll be exploring is this, like, what inspires us to work for change? And there's a huge diversity today in what drives people who are interested in a better world. For some, it's to do away with poverty. For others, it's to do with the environment. For others, it's around gender. For others, it's around sexual orientation. For others, again, it's around their faith. And what we try to do in the program is to create an equality of esteem among all this diversity, that we can have a better understanding of where each is coming from and how each can contribute. So those three are the core elements in training for transformation. And I just want to say a word now, so we can take that screen down, Katrina. So I just want to say a word about how we do the program, and that will introduce Katrina's role as a moderator. Like, we all have experience, we all have insight, and the program tries to draw these out. And the inputs that I'll be offering are meant to connect with the experience and the insight of the participants. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for discussion and for sharing. Like, taking part in the TFT program is meant to be active rather than passive. Now, TFT has always been delivered in person, but when the COVID came, we had to do it by Zoom because folk couldn't gather. But what we found was that folk who wouldn't otherwise have been able to do the program weren't able to do so by Zoom. So we decided we'd hold on to Zoom for the time being anyway. So Katrina now will explain, like, how the TFT on Zoom is structured and managed to enable maximum participation. So over to you, Katrina.
Thank you. So TFT is done exclusively through Zoom. So anyone can join from any spot they have an internet connection. Each session is about 2 hours long, and they have a variety of different interactive methods such as screen shares, breakout rooms, and there's plenty of opportunities to give feedback and to ask questions. Overall, my role in this is to just make the program run as smoothly as possible for everyone. I opened the meeting about 15 minutes early to make sure that you can see and hear us and that we can hear you, and give you a chance to get to know each other and chat a bit before we officially start each session. During the session, I share images and graphics and videos for the inputs via screen share. After each session, I will send notes directly to you so you don't have to worry about missing anything. And I'll also be sending you a fresh link to Zoom each week, so that if anything goes wrong, there's a brand new start next time. Part of the sessions do involve breakout rooms. You automatically go into these and automatically return back to the sessions, so you never have to worry about what button to press. These give you a chance to express your opinions in a smaller group before sharing what you're comfortable with to the main group. What happens in these small groups is kept within that small group. You only share what you're comfortable with. This also gives you a chance to meet other members of the program as well, and to get to know each other a bit.
Okay, so that's it really, folks. We hope we'll see some of you at the next Training for Transformation program. So thank you very much for joining us for this introduction.
Hopefully we'll see you there.